I'm Sourstraws.
And I'm Piñata.
Today we're going over our 2017 PCT gear list. So we'll start with our sleep system. We've got a two-person sleep system starting with this two-person quilt. This is a homemade synthetic quilt. I bought a kit from Rayway that includes all the materials to make it, and it zips apart across the width of it, so that way each of us can carry half of it in our packs during the day. And this was really nice and warm. It worked really well. We also both sleep with a pillow. This is an inflatable pillow from Sea to Summit. Just weighs 2 ounces, and my favorite luxury item. I think it's way better than sleeping on your food or on your extra clothes. And then lastly, we've got a two-person sleeping pad. This is the Xped Synmat Hyperlight Duo. And the nice thing about this is it has 2 separate chambers so that each person can blow up the side individually, which, you know, you can get a different amount of air in each one, and that way one person doesn't have to blow up the whole thing, because that's a lot of air. Our shelter is a Z-Pax Duplex, pretty common shelter on the trail. It's only 22 ounces. Set it up with your trekking poles, and it doesn't come with stakes. We used the aluminum stakes that we already had. They have lasted us 2 through hikes. This tent has lasted us 2 through hikes. I see a lot of people with the titanium stakes, and everyone that I've known that had them has broken them. So we're going to stick with the aluminum for those few extra grams because it works pretty nice. For our backpacks, I also had a homemade backpack. It's also from Rayway. Came as a kit. And this is a frameless and no hip belt pack. It weighs 10 ounces. Really durable, really comfortable. Worked really well for me for the trip. Because this doesn't have a hip belt or any hip belt pockets, I also just carried a Fanny Pack. That way I could carry my snacks, carry my phone, and also carry my wallet around when we were in town. So that worked really well.
I carried the Osprey Exo's 48. I chose not to carry the brain. I didn't need the extra room, and it was an extra 4 ounces that I really didn't want to lug around. The pack worked really well, especially when we were carrying heavy loads in the desert, which compromised mostly of water. The frame held up really well. It's got a little bit of a bend to it, but it's got over 3,000 miles, so I can't really complain. But it's still functional, and I'll use it until I get a new backpack for our next hike.
Alright, for our kitchen and water system, we carried a titanium lightweight stove. This is a Snow Peak Light Max. This has also made it through the AT and the PCT, and we'll use it again on our next hike. It works really well. It works with all the fuels. The only one that offers a problem is the Coleman blended fuel from Walmart, but it seems like that has problems with a lot of stoves, so we just avoid that fuel, and the stove works great. We've got a titanium pot. This was a part of a set from Snow Peak. We just used foil for the lid, just to save a little weight. We've got our titanium sporks. Both of us started with a Talenti jar just to help hydrate food, and we ended up going down to 1 because we really didn't need the second one. But one thing we do carry, and have carried on both of our hikes as well, is just an 8-ounce Nalgene for holding olive oil. This does really well. It doesn't leak, and olive oil is a really great way to add calories to your meal. Water filters?
Water filter. We went with 1 Sawyer between us. It made the water breaks a little bit longer when we were filtering for both of us. Maybe next time we'll carry 2, but they're cheap. They last a long time as long as you back flush them. We went through 2 on the PCT. The first one started getting slow. They're only $30. We needed extra bags, so it was a good deal to buy a new one.
We carried just some various size platypuses and smart water bottles, which changed as the hike went on. I think we both had a 5-liter capacity in the desert, but by the end of the trail we were down to 2 liters each or something like that, so that just varies as we go. For our electronic items, headlamps, we both carry the Petzl E Plus Light. We've each got one from a different year, so they're slightly different. It's really lightweight and really minimal. For how small it is, you do get a lot of different colors and strobe lights. You get red light, white light, but it's very weak. So it works really well for setting up at camp and cooking, but it's really not a light that you can night hike with. So if you want a night hike, you definitely need a better light than this one.
Also for electronics, we carry just an Anchor power pack. This one's 13,000 milliamp hours. It worked great for us. We never ran out of power. We just came close a couple times in the Sierras when we were using our phones a little bit more for navigation. Other than that, this worked really well.
For clothes, my hiking clothes are already trashed, but I just always go for cheap clothes from Walmart or Target. Polyester shirt, polyester shorts. I changed those out once during the trail, and now I'll replace those again. I used for my thermal layer just the Patagonia Capulines. I've got the top and the bottom. These are the mid-level thermals. And again, this went through 2 thru-hikes. Still usable, works really great. Both of us carry the same jacket. This is Montbello 900 fill power minimal jacket, no hood, no pockets. We both carried through 2 hikes as well. They're still in pretty good shape, but we have decided next time we'll go for something a little bit warmer with a little bit more loft, just because it did get a little chilly sometimes, and you really need to layer this on those cold days. What we layered it with was our rain jackets. We both have the Marmot rain jackets, also the minimal version, no pockets, 2 thru-hikes as well, but the inside lining of both of ours are totally destroyed. And if it had rained more than 2 or 3 times on the PCT, we would have had to get a new rain jacket. But I think we both decided in the future we're just going to go for something cheap like Frog Togs, because your rain jacket is not going to last. And then we also just both had rain pants from a thrift store. We don't carry these the whole time, just when, I think we only carried them in the Sierra, if it's going to be really cold or really wet. Otherwise, it's really not worth it. But they're great if it's cold. And then just for the Sierra, I also had this micro fleece, which I definitely slept with all my layers on a couple times. But if I had a warmer down jacket, I might be able to avoid bringing this.
As far as my clothes, I would wear board shorts from Target or Walmart, whatever's cheap. You're going to destroy them. I think this is my second pair for this hike, but it's great. You can jump in any river or stream, take a bath, you're good for about a week. As far as shirts go, I would use a polyester. I had a long sleeve and a short sleeve. Depending on weather, I would switch out. I prefer the long sleeve with a lot of sun and exposure. Just kind of helped protect me a little bit better. Short sleeve was good when it was really humid. As far as base layers go, I only carried 1 pair of long johns. It was a Patagonia Capulines ones. I run pretty hot, and this worked really well for me. I probably wore them about 10 or 15 times the whole trail. We both had a buff, a wool one. Hers has tons of holes in it, so it's no longer with us. Mine's still holding up really well after 2 thru-hikes. I'm going to carry it again on my next one also. We each also had a pair of cheap knit gloves. We got these in the Sierra. We both, I think, wish we would have got them a little bit earlier in the desert just because it was cold. So it just depends on how your body temperature is. Maybe go from there and make that decision.
But we got snow on day 3, so
Yes.
they would have been nice.
And for my head, I would carry or wear a hat, this one, and usually carry a bandana, put it around, help protect the ears and the neck.
We both went for the Darn Tough hiking socks. I actually started with some running socks from Darn Tough and quickly regretted that decision. And yeah, we're going to stick with Darn Tough.
Yes.
They're just the best ones that there are. We also both started with an umbrella. These are just an 8-ounce hiking umbrella from Gossamer Gear. We only carried them in the desert for the sun. I think I used mine every day, and I really enjoyed it.
I did not enjoy mine, and I will not carry an umbrella again. I'll stick with the long sleeves and just kind of covering up my body for sun protection.
In terms of stuff sacks, we both just carried 2. One main stuff sack that fits the quilt and our clothes, and it fills out the bottom of the backpack really well. And then each of us also carried a food bag, and we just brought what we had from before. So this one is still nylon. He's got a Cuban fiber one, and that held our food for us. There's a few items that we brought specifically for the Sierra. The first being our ice axes. Mine is a Petzl Glacier. His is a Black Diamond Raven Pro. I think they both weigh about 12 ounces. We both use them for self-arrest. They work really well. But I think we both decided that if we were to do it again, we would just go for the Camp Corsas because they are a lot lighter and they would work just fine. We also both carried some micro spikes. Also used two different brands. He went for the Catulas. I have one called Chainson Pro. They were a little cheaper off Amazon, and they're really essentially the same thing. The rubber is slightly different, but the spikes are exactly the same. So really, they fit slightly differently, but they are functionally the same thing. Bear canisters. We each had a different one. I went for the Bear Vault. He went for the Backpacker's Cache because we just already had it. They're effectively the same. I think this one is slightly lighter. This one opens a little bit more easily. And this one has more of a consistent shape, where that one has the bump in the middle, which can make it uncomfortable in your backpack. But other than that, they're basically functionally the same, and they worked well. A few other items. We carried a little bit of Tyvek as our ground cloth. It also works for cowboy camping. Not everybody carries a ground sheet with this tent, but it has definitely, I think, helped keep the floor from getting any holes in it, and I think we'll continue to carry a ground cloth.
And the Deuce of Spades, we all know what this is for, and it works very well.
All right, well, that's our gear. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.